Hey everybody, my name is Jessica Monk, better known as Jessica Monje, aka J Monje. I'm a gospel artist and I wanted to create a couple videos to talk about the journeys and the challenges that unsigned gospel artists or indie artists face while going through our actual journey. So some of you that are looking or tuning in today, what actually came from Facebook posts that I made, and I want to say thank you if you did. I definitely thank you for tuning into or coming in from that way. So I just want to go ahead and jump right into it because I didn't want to make an extremely long video. I didn't want to make a long video because most people don't really stay tuned to long videos. So I wrote down a couple points that I wanted to go over and talk about, and we're gonna start and go from there. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was my journey into recording my first single, like producing and recording and composing my own first single that I actually started December of 2019, and I finished it in January the 15th, I believe. And I got a couple of clips and things from there of me actually doing that I may put into here. I think I will just add it into this video. So one of the reasons why I actually got into wanting to record and produce my own music was simply because if I could talk about the elephant in the room, was time. Time was not on my side. I work full time and I am in church ministry, and I also own my own in-home bakery, and I did not have a lot of time to actually continue to keep going to the studio and trying to get in studio time and get studio hours alongside of me working. Commuting, I have an hour and 30-minute commute every day back and forth to work. It's an hour and 30 minutes there, an hour and 30 minutes back. And with that being said, I just wanted to find something that could help me and that I could actually benefit from with actually being home to actually record my music and take some time, because I've had when I say numerous amount of hours and times being in a commercial studio, I have been in that, and I was very familiar with the technique. I was familiar with the software, the program that my producer used, and just understanding what it actually took for me to be in the studio. So I was very familiar with that. With that being said, I kind of went on this journey of me acquiring my own equipment, my program, my supplies, everything that you could possibly think about that you needed to function with an in-home studio. So I took that upon myself simply so that I can save the time or help myself with time, and I can work on my own music. So there's a good side to that as well, because the thing I love most about that is that whenever an idea or a song start to expire and comes to my mind, I'm able to come from out of whatever room that I'm in my home and come into the room that I have specifically for recording music, my studio, and I'll get on my keyboard and my keyboard, and I get on my software and I'll start, putting down the melody that I hear in my head. And the funny thing about it is I'm not a drummer, but I play the keyboard, and I've been playing since I was 7. But with this particular song or single that I actually recorded, I actually had to find out how to make beats myself. And let me tell you, YouTube has been my friend. YouTube has been nothing but good to me when it comes to learning and understanding the technique of making beats and learning and understanding the technique of composing music with the particular software that I use. And that software was Persona Studio 1.3. I had to learn through YouTube to understand how to actually develop the skills that I need to make my music sound as professional as possible. So that's a good thing about having an in-home studio. And I had a hard time with trying to explain to my producer the sounds that I was hearing in my head and how to put that down on in music form to make what I hear in my head come to life. That was a hard part for me as well, because it was just really hard trying to explain to somebody, what you're hearing inside of your head. And we have had definitely some great projects together where, he was hitting it on the spot, and he was actually getting the concept and the idea, and it was coming into life. But again, it was part of my journey, and it's like, this is a new adventure, and I wanted to actually start composing and learning the backhand of this on my own, because this is something that I'm trying to master. This is something that I'm trying to stay focused on, and I want it to be perfected. And nothing is never going to be perfect, but I'm trying to perfect that I'm working in, that I call my journey. And this is my personal journey. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it here, because I said I did not want a long video. So to wrap things up, again, this show is about talking to unsigned gospel artists, unsigned indie artists, more specifically gospel unsigned artists, simply because we don't necessarily see a lot of the artists talk about where they start and how they're in it, and then what we see as the end result, the success. We oftentimes see where a person start, and then we see where they're currently at now, and it's not necessarily the final result, but we see them on the mainstream. But everything that happens in between there, we don't know anything about. We don't hear about the challenges. We don't hear about the disappointments and the letdowns, or the success and the rise. So I wanted to share my personal journey, and I'm not quite sure exactly where this is going to go. I just know that I'm going to continue to keep pursuing my journey of being an unsigned or indie artist, and I just want to be successful in it. My goal is to not be signed. And I know to some it sounds crazy when I say that, but my ultimate goal is that I don't necessarily want to be signed by a major record company. I actually just want to be successful. And alongside with me being successful, I definitely want to be known as a national recording artist. And with that being said, I believe that it can happen. I believe that it can happen. It's definitely going to cause some hard work, and I know that for a fact, and it's definitely going to cause for me being knowledgeable in that I'm placing my music in, and anything that, my music is being attached to. I have to research and learn these things on my own, because I don't necessarily have any major label that's working for me. So I have to record these things on my own, and I have to kind of put myself out there in the forefront. There are other artists that are doing the exact same thing. But the funny thing about it is, it's just a part of, I guess, being persistent. And another reasons why I wanted to create a show to talk about indie artists' journeys is because we don't oftentimes hear it. And there's not a lot of support for gospel unsigned artists or gospel indie artists when it comes to understanding some of the things that we need and who we need to link up with, or networking and resources. There isn't a lot out there for us. So somebody has got to step up and, share this information. And yeah, I have a lot of information that I want to share, especially with, prior times up until now. Me recording previous music that I released, and now I want you guys to be a part of this actual new journey for the new release of my self-produced single. And with that being said, we just don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know what's gonna happen after this, but I do want you guys to stay tuned, and I do want you to be I want you to be witnesses of it firsthand experience. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so that you'll know the next time I'm gonna have another video up. With that being said, give me a thumbs up, please, if this helped you any. I will be back again in a couple of days, and then from there I'm going to have a routine or a schedule of how I'm going to actually upload this music. So that'll be it. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon.